What's going on? Dylan Conrad, Medbolic as fuck. Today I'm going to talk to you about falling off on the weekends. And if that is you, try these 3 strategies. They are really, really good. I use them with myself and with my clients as well. So before I get into that, if you're watching this on YouTube, please like, subscribe, turn notifications on, Spotify, iTunes, follow, write a review, all that good stuff. Helps the algo. So before I get into the strategies and falling off on the weekends, this is kind of like near and dear to my heart because this used to be me. Kind of like, I guess in my early 20s to really actually like late 20s, I was a party guy. Like to go out, like to drink, like to have fun, and but during the week it was like super clean and like dialed in. The weekends would come and I would just like have a drink, and then that would like give me the munchies, or just kind of like blow it from there, or my deficit was too low during the week and I'll be starving, and then anything would like trigger it, right? So it's kind of like a near and dear subject to my heart, and I'll kind of get into that a little bit on about my story at the end of this. By the way, yesterday I posted that episode about do I make you uncomfortable? And someone's like, I don't know if they're kidding or not, but either way, I'm sure I made some people uncomfortable. Which I was like, fuck, like, do I want to do that? Do I want to like repel people off if I'm repelling anyone? And I was kind of thinking, I like how to like analyze it to myself, and I thought like, yeah, like I do. Like I think you have to repel in order to attract, like create your tribe. And the other thing was, I'm kind of like, I was talking about getting uncomfortable, telling people that they should, get uncomfortable a little bit to make some changes in their lives. And I'm getting, that was uncomfortable for me to post, right? So kind of like practicing what I preach. So all in all, I obviously look, I want everyone to like me, a people pleaser, people person. That's like one of my gifts and curses. But I'd rather have respect and the ability, like, I think I was looking at the stats the other day. I had like a couple hundred listeners and viewers on this combined. I was like, even if one person gets something out of this and it really changes their week or even their life, that's totally worth it to me. So anyways, kind of back to what we're talking about here. So if you're someone that crushes it during the week, does really well in your nutrition and your workouts, and the weekends come and you completely blow it, you want to listen to these 3 strategies, and they're going to help you immensely. So the number one reason people blow it on the weekends is they don't have anything prepared, right? Like some people like, I went out to brunch and then I did this and that. I'm like, okay, well, did you have any meals at home? They're like, I ended up ordering like takeout at home, or like, I didn't eat at home because I just didn't have anything. It's like, okay, well, you want to set yourself up for success, right? You want to put yourself in the best position to succeed. And a lot of people run out of their meal prep by the weekend. So I would suggest taking a Monday and Thursday to meal prep. If you're into physical meal prep, if you're getting a meal delivery, make sure you have meals for the weekend. Even if you don't eat those, you can actually freeze them too and eat them later in the week. And the other thing is, like, meal prep doesn't always have to be physical. Like, it doesn't have to be active, like cooking food. There's a lot of different methods out there that you can use to actually not cook at all. And so a lot of times it's just having that mental preparation of like knowing where your meals are going to be that weekend, and just kind of like following that. I think a big strategy that works for a lot of my clients is actually pre-logging their food. That way they know how much they could basically allocate in the evening to their nutrition. I think that is going to be a big key. And then if you have friends that work out, I would plan workouts with them, so you have that prepared on the schedule, even like sign up for a class or something, just so you're like preparing to actually do that. And look, if you miss anything, if you miss a meal, whatever it is, it's not the end of the world, right? I think people kind of put themselves in a situation where they're like all in during the week and they fall all off during the weekend because they have like one little slip up and like, fuck it, the whole weekend's blown. I'm just going to start over on Monday. And instead of doing that, prepare. Prepare as much as you can for the weekend. And look, if you don't execute, that's fine too. Like it's a learning experience. It's an opportunity to understand what went wrong and where to grow and what to change. Okay, so that's number 1 is preparation. Number 2 is, if you are falling off every single weekend, one thing you'll see is people on the weekend will eat a disproportionately large amount of calories and consume a large amount of alcohol compared to the week, right? And so if you kind of set yourself up for success, use your defense as your offense, so to speak, you can actually go a little bit higher on your food on the weekends and a little bit lower on the weekdays. Now, that doesn't mean you're going like thousands of calories over. 300 calories if you're tracking your food, is the max you would want to go over or under. If you go over 300 calories, that starts converting to body fat, stuff like that. If you go too far under, that starts downregulating your metabolism, and causing you to be starving during the weekend. You're going to go way over that 300 marker. Now, listen, if you have a history, this is not one strategy I personally used. I've used it with clients before, but if you have a history of disordered eating or ED, not erectile dysfunction, the other ED, definitely do not do this. This kind of mimics a binge and purge, even though it's only like a couple hundred calories. It can definitely be a trigger for that. So that's number 2. Number 3 is BYOF, bring your own food. So this is really important if you are someone who is going to like a friend's house or a party or like a gathering, whatever it is. Like, you never want to show up empty-handed, and like, you know, I don't like to bring wine, to be honest with you, because like, it's like, hey, here's this bottle of wine, and it's like awkward. It's like, are you gonna open it? Are you not? Like, are you gonna store it? Like, so I'm always awkward about that. I would rather just bring my own food, right? And some sort of lean protein, some sort of vegetable. So, you know, whatever food they put out, you're going to have something good and looks. And if you don't cook, you could just go to Whole Foods. They have like an amazing bar. A lot of just grocery stores, Bristol Farm, stuff like that. They have pre-prep food that you can just grab and you can put it in a better container like I did a couple of years ago on Thanksgiving. I hope my brother and sister aren't listening to this, but they probably aren't anyways. So you can do that and just put it in a really nice container like you made it yourself. No one's going to know the difference. Really easy hack, but that way you know you're going to have some sort of lean protein, some sort of vegetable, regardless of what they put out there. And if you eat out on the weekends too, every restaurant's going to have some sort of lean protein, some sort of vegetable. You can always going to like bake, steam, minimal oil, stuff like that to make it healthier. For me personally, like that's kind of the 3 strategies, right? For my clients, one of them I never used. It was a trigger for me because I suffered from not an ED, but disordered eating patterns. Binge and purge. You know, I remember like end of high school, I was taking like ephedra, and it was like keep me up at night. It made me feel horrible, but I was like losing so much body fat, so it was like kind of addicting in a sense. And then I remember what did I do? I think something happened. I got painkillers, and I was using those to suppress my appetite in the evening, which is it's not a healthy thing whatsoever. But it was for me. I never really had a transformation that I was proud of until I hired my own coach. And just having someone guide me through the process to where expecting me to stay on point during the weekend and kind of like supporting me and giving me ideas of what I can't do. And honestly, I think the biggest thing was just kind of like asking me questions and having me come to the answer, which is how we coach our clients. But he would just ask me like, you know, okay, cool. Like, what do your weekends look like right now? Like, what do you think that would be sustainable for you to do on the weekends? Or what does this weekend look like specifically? What can you do to put yourself in the best position to succeed? So it was a lot of like thinking deeper instead of just kind of like winging it. I was creating game plans. And sometimes I'd stick to them, sometimes I wouldn't. You know, and either was fine, but I would make progress, right? And I was putting myself in the best position. I was trying my hardest to actually succeed at it. And so having someone expect things from me and help me kind of like direct my week to week was super helpful for me to actually get past that, you know, weekend falling off. I rarely have a weekend where I fall off. You know, I plan cheats and stuff like that, but yeah, like before it was almost every single weekend. And then now it's like not at all, really. It's not really something I think about, but it took me time, right? And so invest the time, invest the struggle. And if you're someone who's like, oh, you know what, like I think coaching would probably be a good thing for me to get, you know, just in terms of staying in line with the weekend and having the guidance, understanding like what you should and shouldn't be doing, hit me up. Any of the social medias, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. If you're a dude, no need to go to my Instagram. It's like it's geared towards women. My Facebook is more geared towards both. This podcast is geared towards both. You can also just shoot me an email, dylan@dcfitness.la. Yes, that's .la, not .com. So anyways, hope this helps. Love y'all. Happy day of the week you're watching this on, and have a great day.